Have you ever faced a time when life felt unpredictable, when every step forward seemed uncertain, and fear took over your heart? What if I told you that no matter how unpredictable life feels, there's a rock you can lean on that never changes, a source of strength and faithfulness that has remained steadfast throughout the ages? In this video, we're going to explore how God's promises, His unchanging nature, and our faith in Him can bring peace, stability, and breakthrough even in the most chaotic times. Let's dive into why trusting in God's eternal nature matters and how it can change your life today. God's consistency, a foundation for trust. One of the most comforting truths about faith is knowing that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. This means that the same God who provided for generations past, who fulfilled promises to Abraham, Moses, and countless others, is still at work today. But what does this mean for you? In a world that constantly shifts, where politics, economies, and even relationships are unpredictable, God is the anchor that remains steadfast. His faithfulness doesn't depend on our circumstances or our feelings. This constancy provides a powerful foundation for trust. You can rely on God, not because everything around you is certain, but because He is. As we face the storms of life, the uncertainty of health, finances, or even our future, God's unchanging nature is a beacon of hope. This doesn't mean life will be without challenges, but it does mean that amidst the chaos, there's someone you can lean on who won't waver. Have you ever thought about how many times you've faced the unexpected, yet found strength you didn't know you had? That's God working in your life, behind the scenes, even when you don't realize it. Why trusting in God's promises makes all the difference. Let's talk about God's promises. Scripture is full of them, promises of provision, protection, peace, and purpose. The God who promised to never leave us, to guide us, and to bless us is the same God today. We live in an age where it's easy to feel disconnected, like we're wandering without direction, but God's promises are a roadmap to living with confidence. Think about this for a moment. If someone you deeply trust gave you their word, wouldn't you have faith in them to keep it? Now, multiply that trust by infinity, and that's the faithfulness of God. His promises are more than words. They're declarations of what He will do. There's no shadow of doubt with Him. His word is as sure as the rising sun. Imagine how much lighter life feels when you truly believe that the Creator of the universe has promised to take care of you. Living in faith, a declaration. It's one thing to hear about God's faithfulness, but it's another to declare it over your life. When you actively declare, "I trust that God will keep His word," you're positioning yourself to receive His promises. In today's world, we are bombarded with negative messages. From news cycles filled with fear to personal struggles that overwhelm, it can be hard to hold on to faith. But declaring trust in God amidst uncertainty is an act of defiance against fear. Even when things don't go as planned, you can say, "I know God's promises remain true." That declaration doesn't ignore reality. It transcends it. You're not just trusting in a distant deity, you're trusting in a loving Father who knows the end from the beginning. When we declare faith, we tap into the power of that unshakable foundation. God's protection, a powerful defender. Life is full of dangers, both seen and unseen. Sometimes, it feels like we're walking through life vulnerable to circumstances beyond our control. But here's a truth that can radically shift how you face your day: God is your protector. When the Bible calls Him the Lion of Judah, it's not just poetic imagery. Lions are symbols of strength, authority, and power. God, in His role as your protector, stands like a lion, ready to defend His children. Have you ever felt a sudden sense of peace in the middle of a dangerous situation? That's God at work, guarding you from harm. No matter what situation you find yourself in, whether it's physical danger or emotional turmoil, remember that you're not walking alone. God's promise is clear. He is with you, fighting battles you can't even see. Trust that He knows what your future holds, and like a good father, He will shield you from harm. Breakthroughs and miracles expect the impossible. One of the most powerful promises God gives is that nothing is impossible for Him. When Jesus said, "With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible," He wasn't just speaking to ancient listeners. He was speaking to you, right now, in your situation. Many of us have faced impossible moments, whether it's a health crisis, financial hardship, or personal challenges that seem too big to overcome. But God specializes in the impossible. His track record is full of miracles, from parting seas to raising the dead. If He can do that, then trust that He can bring breakthrough in your life too. What impossible situation are you facing today? Declare it to God, and then trust that He will act. While you may not know how the breakthrough will come, rest assured that God is working. His promises guarantee that no situation is beyond His control. A life of surrender, trusting God with every detail. Surrendering our lives to God isn't about giving up, it's about giving over. When we surrender our worries, relationships, and dreams to Him, we're trusting that His plans are better than our own. Too often, we try to carry burdens we were never meant to bear. But in prayer, we can lay down those weights at His feet. When you place your life, your family, and your future into His hands, you're not abandoning your responsibilities, you're embracing a partnership with the God who controls all things. Overcoming fear and doubt, a prayer for confidence. Fear is one of the greatest weapons the enemy uses against us. But when you declare, "I trust that God will protect me from all harm," you're choosing faith over fear. You're acknowledging that, while life may be full of uncertainty, God's protection is constant. Think about the times you've been overwhelmed by fear or doubt. What if, in those moments, you took a step back and remembered who is on your side? God's protection isn't a vague hope, it's a promise. When fear tries to creep in, declare that no weapon formed against you will prosper. As we wrap up, let's remember that God's faithfulness is not a thing of the past, it's alive and active today. His promises remain true, His protection is ever present, and His love is unending. No matter what situation you face, trust that God has already paved the way for your victory. So, as you go through your day, hold on to this lesson: life may be uncertain, but God is not. Trust in His promises, lean on His strength, and walk in the confidence that comes from knowing He is with you, now and forever. Today's takeaway is simple yet profound: God's truth is unchanging, and His faithfulness never fails. No matter what challenges arise, you can stand firm knowing that you are held in the hands of a loving, all-powerful God. Keep trusting, keep declaring, and watch how God brings peace, protection, and breakthrough into your life.